Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Hopefully, everybody is doing good. Hopefully, I did that right. Were y'all able to hear the music?
Yeah, I was dancing to the music.
Yeah, so I was like, hopefully, I'm doing this right. All right, that's super good. So, hope everybody's doing good. I see y'all on Instagram. I see y'all on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Tapped in. Let us know real quick as we're getting ready to get started where it is you are tuning in from and what it is you are looking to do in the tech industry. Y'all see the title. Today we are usually the title is this title is actually inaccurate because usually the title is from nurse to tech sales, or it's from truck driver to cybersecurity, or from teacher to Linux systems admin. This title is actually wrong because technically, once a doctor, you are always a doctor. Like when you're a doctor, you're a doctor. And I didn't think about that until after the fact. So even though the title is from doctor to cybersecurity, which in essence is true, at its core, she still is a doctor. We are still talking to, we have a doctor in our presence. So y'all, I'm very excited. Make sure y'all have y'all's questions ready because this is going to be really, really good as we're going to be hearing her story about how she transitioned from being a doctor or still being a doctor, but transitioned from working in the field of a doctor to now being in the field of cybersecurity. So y'all go ahead and show some love to her in the comments in the chat that she's taking her evening to be here with us. Very excited about this. As always, make sure y'all have y'all's questions ready. For those of y'all that are interested in the program she did, we're going to talk about how she was able to do this in roughly 3 months after the program. For those of y'all that are interested, on Instagram and YouTube, all y'all need to do is comment the word security. Comment the word security, and the automation should send a DM over to you or a message or a comment that'll give you the link to the exact same program that she did. For those of y'all that are on LinkedIn, and some of you that are on YouTube, another option, y'all just look at the link underneath the video. There's a description. In the description, you'll see a link for the exact same program that she did. They are about to have a free workshop in literally not too long from now, in a few days. So go ahead and take access to the free workshop. Yep, the automations on YouTube are working. I see it. Check that out. Look at that. Yeah, so just comment security and look in the chat and copy that link. Y'all see it right there. Your IT career is the name of the program that she did. So on Instagram, just comment security. YouTube, comment security. On LinkedIn, look at the link in the description in the drop down below and take advantage, get access. They have a free 2-day workshop going on. So that way y'all can tap into cybersecurity, see if it's a field for you. Y'all know cybersecurity is on my top 5 list of roles in tech, the best roles in tech for 2025, or the best industries in tech 2025. Cybersecurity is one of those roles, or one of those industries, one of those industries that has a lot of opportunity, and AI is only making that industry boom a lot more. It's only providing more opportunity, which is very rare. So make sure y'all tap in. That being said, we about to go ahead and jump into it. Hopefully y'all are ready. Again, have y'all questions ready, because once we get into it, we're going to get into it. So make sure you have y'all questions ready to drop. That being said, I'm gonna call you Miss Dr. Beanie. I was gonna say Miss Beanie. I'm gonna call you Dr. Beanie because that's easier since that your name's right there. I know officially that's not your doctor, like doctor. I know you got a different name, but Dr. Beanie, thank you so much for being on here. Really appreciate you for taking your evening to be here with us.
Thank you, Cyrus, for having me.
Love it, love it. And y'all, she is actually Nigerian. She's Nigerian, so she is from Nigeria, y'all. So shouts out to the Nigerian community. We love our Nigerian. We love our Nigerian brothers and sisters. And so look, we can go ahead and get into it. So can you tell the people exactly what it is that you do in tech? You don't have to go into too much detail. You can keep it simple. We'll go into detail later. But what exactly do you do in tech, and how long have you been in the industry?
What I do, I'm a senior IT auditor, and I work in an internal audit department at a university here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And currently, we as an internal audit department provide assurance to our to the institution that I work for in regards to their internal controls that govern business processes. So this, I'm in a unique position where the institution that I work at has both a university side of business and also a healthcare side of business. So as an IT
Yeah.
auditor, we sit on both sides and we do a lot of work. I'm currently working on projects that span from
Okay.
research
Wait,
audits.
wait, whoa, 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 whoa. All right. So, you giving us everything right now. I love it. I love it. So I want us to go into detail later. This is just I
Okay.
want to kind of touch on a snapshot of just kind of like the high level overview, and
Yes.
we definitely gonna dive in a little bit later. So I like, hey, look, y'all see, she ready to give it all. She like, I'm gonna break it all the way down for y'all. Hey, look,
Yeah.
you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah,
So,
I officially
so
started my role 3 months ago. So in March.
wow.
Yes.
See, that's something I didn't know. I looked at your LinkedIn, but I guess I didn't look at the dates as to when you started. So, so you've been in the industry in the cybersecurity space now for 3 months.
Yes, that's in terms of
Wow.
like the official senior ID.
Official, yeah.
role. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
started my journey about a year back,
yeah.
January of 2023. So,
Okay, great. And what is your title again specifically?
so I'm a senior IT auditor.
Senior IT auditor. Look, y'all, she already senior level. Check that out. All right, so look, we're gonna go into it. So you're senior IT auditor. You
Yes,
started your journey about a year ago, but you've officially been working in terms of like full employment now for 3 months in the cybersecurity space. We love it,
yes.
love it. If you could tell the people again, just high level overview, um, how exactly did you get into the industry?
Okay.
And let's start there. Like, how exactly did you get in the industry? So you can mention the program that you did, and
Okay.
then we can start and kind of go back in the past, like what you were doing before you were even thinking about the tech industry.
Yes, yes. So I did a boot camp that was 8 weeks long. She had to it's self-paced, but she had weekly meetings, check-in meetings, and this is hosted by our teacher's name is Peju, and it's at yourITcareer.com. So she has this cybersecurity specifically geared for research, I mean, IT auditors, and if you want to do governance, GRC. And so governance, risk, and compliance audits as well. So these, for people that are not familiar with what IT auditors are, we are the third line of defense. And so you have your first line, the people that are actually doing the work, programming. You have your second line, which are the people that have governance, that set the policies. For example, if your business is working with like federal agencies, they have policies that you need to apply by. So the second line of defense makes sure that you have those policies in place. And the third line, we as internal auditors, because we work as part of this institution, we are the ones that come in and audit or check to make sure that those controls are working effectively and as towards the design, and to give assurance so that when you have external auditors coming to check, that the business is in compliance. So that's kind of where we sit as internal IT auditors. And so we work with all the information systems at the institution. And so
Yeah,
I did this 8 week bootcamp class, but I felt like I was in a unique space based on my background, which we will talk about in a little
yeah,
bit. And so while in the
yeah,
class, I decided to like take advantage of the resources I had because I was in an excellent institution, and I just Googled, do they have an internal audit department? So that's where I
yeah.
started. And I emailed them, looked them up on LinkedIn, did a few couple cold emails, and got some reply and figured out who the IT director was for my institution. Reached out to them, had some like informational interviews, and then I just took the plunge and asked them, is it okay if I can do an internship? And they hadn't done this before, and they were like, I was like, look, I'll be the guinea pig. If worse comes to worse, if I'm a bad intern, you don't have to do this again, and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm internal,
No.
so nobody gets hurt in this situation. And so
Yeah.
well, they were, I guess we all clicked. because I talked to two of the directors, because I went all the way up because I used the audit report that we had from the past to track who the current leadership was. And, it clicked, and I was very blessed,
Yeah.
and they said yes. And so I started the program back in January. By March, April, they had agreed for
Yeah.
me to start.
So,
And I
so
told them I was in this class. And so that the rest
So wait, I want to go further back a little bit because I
is
love where we're going, but I want to go further back because I have a question that I'm sure a lot of other people here have.
yes,
So let's
yes.
so let's so let's go back. So what exactly were you doing before you were even thinking about cybersecurity, tech? What were you doing? Because obviously everybody sees the title, they see doctors. So what exactly were you doing? What were your qualifications?
Okay.
But then like take us through that, but then take us to the moment, like what happened that made you say, hey, you know what? I want to do a huge career shift, a huge pivot.
Okay.
So, because usually people that are looking to get in the tech industry is because what they're currently doing is not good financially, like they're in a tough spot financially, or I mean, that's usually the number one issue. They're in a tough spot financially, or they're overworked in their field, whatever field it is. So if they're making good money, many times they're overworked. Those are usually the two reasons. So I would love for you to go back and tell everybody what exactly you were doing before, and then how that led to you saying you want to get into the tech industry.
Sure. So I was doing my postdoctoral fellowship. So I got my PhD in biological science from the University of South Carolina back in 2021. And when I finished, so I had a very heavy biochemistry emphasis PhD thesis defense. And I've always been interested in immunology and HIV. So I came to Atlanta here to this institution to be a postdoctoral fellow, which is the next stage if you're looking to be like, if you're trying to go the career path of a faculty or research faculty, or work at any school of medicine as either a combined research faculty or full research faculty. I mean, sorry, teaching slash research. So that was the goal, or what I thought was the career goal for me after having this high degree. And so I came here, applied, and I got a good fellowship as a postdoc here in Atlanta, and in the institution that I'm currently at. And I was there. So I was in my fourth year. So last year was my fourth year as a postdoc. And usually you have a 5-year fellowship before you get off the NIH fellowship. And then you just become like a staff scientist until you know, get your own lab kind of deal. And while I was doing this project here, it was a 5-year long animal study. I realized that the part of the study that I liked was the project management part of it. It was a huge preclinical trial. And so with that in mind, I was liking like the program management and everything. And also, as you said, as cliche as it sounds, even in higher education and academia, as postdocs, a lot of my colleagues know we are overworked and underpaid
Yes.
because
Yeah.
we're in kind of a vacuum. We're not full staff, we're not students. So we're just in our postdoc
Mm.
NIH vacuum, and NIH sets the standard of how much we were getting paid. And so with that, so that goes back to like those financial strain. At least I'm single, so I didn't have as much financial strain compared to those that were doing, my colleagues that have kids, or international doing this. But either way, I think I stopped finding fulfillment, and for me, I couldn't see a career path forward because I got an opportunity to see the other end of like becoming a faculty and member or research faculty. And I was like, I don't want any of this anymore. The vision wasn't there for me. And so while I was in the lab talking to my other fellow postdocs, I am the compliance officer in the lab. Everybody knows that. So we have like health compliance, OSHA compliance, animal board compliance, all these things because we work with very high biological risk samples. And so with that, I'm always the one talking about compliance, checking off the standard operating procedures, which we call the SOPs. And so one of my postdocs was like, have you thought about audit before? And out of nowhere, he was like, I think you do well in audit. And I also came across this IT audit. It's more technology, but you have the mindset for it. And he was like, they're doing like basically the challenge that she's offering right now. If I want to
Yeah.
try it and see if I liked it. And so that was more of an expo. And I thought about it and I watched the video
Mm,
for the expo. So I cooked a little bit because this was in December. And by end of December, I was like, you know what, is an investment. I'm just gonna do the class.
yeah.
It's 8 weeks. Um, I will do it. And if it's God's will, it's God's will. And that's how I got it. But I think what
Yeah.
helped me solidify the class was that when she was talking about the roles of what you can do after the boot camp, I started seeing like different things that I could do, including the project management. Because in fact, I
Mhm.
even had it in mind to be an IT audit project manager.
Yeah.
So, okay, the project management can transfer. I did projects, and I just need to get
Yeah.
the basics, which I liked her teaching style. She's very good at giving you the basics, and me that I like school and I like studying, that
Yeah.
was she was speaking my language in that
Yeah.
situation, and so it was easy
Yeah.
to translate that, and so that's how I
Yeah.
joined the class. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
So I
started
love that.
going.
Yeah, no, I love that so much. So I love it. For those of y'all that don't know, the boot camp that she did to get in tech, the cybersecurity boot camp she did, like she mentioned, her instructor is really good at teaching. The reason why her instructor, the founder of the boot camp, has actually been in cybersecurity for over 20 years. So she has been in the industry way before boot camps even existed. So y'all know it's a lot of people out here, including myself. So I'm not speaking down on anyone. There's a lot of people out here that either got in the industry through a boot camp or got in the industry around the time that it became popular to be in tech. Whereas her instructor, the founder of the boot camp she did, has been in the industry way before people were even thinking about getting in the tech industry, before people even realized how much people in the tech industry even made. So she is a huge wealth of knowledge. She actually went viral. Her instructor went viral because she used to give out free courses and free trainings. And
Mhm.
other people in the industry realized that her trainings were so superior to what was already in the market. They said, hey, this is too good to give away for free. Like you need to like elevate this, offer a little bit more, but you need to package this because this is really good. And eventually she decided to do that. And now she's helped a lot of people get in tech. I've already interviewed another one of the alumni of the exact same program that Dr. Beanie did, Your IT Career. So definitely tap in. Again, for those of y'all that are on YouTube, those of y'all that are on YouTube and Instagram, comment the word security, as in cybersecurity, but comment security. You'll get the link in the DM. All of that stuff will go to you about the program, so that way you can get access. For those of y'all that are on LinkedIn that they're just tapped in, make sure y'all click under beneath me and look at the description. You'll see the link right there because again, like Dr. Beanie said, she did a workshop. She did a free workshop, a free challenge that gave her a good oversight. That exact same free workshop is about to happen again in a few days. So make sure y'all take advantage of the free workshop, just like Dr. Beanie wanted to test it out, see if it was for her. I encourage y'all to do the exact same thing so that way you can experience it for yourself as well. Again, cybersecurity is one of the top industries in the tech space. So y'all know I definitely push it because it's a great space. And if y'all missed out on what she said, she did the program and she landed her internship, I believe. And we're going to talk about this more in a moment. She landed her internship, I believe, 3 months after finishing the program. And now she has been actually working in the industry now, officially full time for 3 months now. So it's fresh. It's a fresh story, fresh experience. So it's a lot of good stuff. So make sure y'all have y'all's questions prepared. Y'all can even start dropping y'all's questions in the chat. So that way we're totally ready to get to them. But that being said, let's go ahead and continue on. So you did the challenge. Can you tell me? You don't have to go too much into detail because you don't need to give all the sauce away. But if you can talk, what was it about the challenge? Because literally to go from a doctor, and again, I know title wise you still are a doctor, but to go from the field of research, doctor, all of that stuff, to making such a transition, what happened during that workshop that everybody else here is going to get access to, what happened during the workshop that made you say, yeah, you know what? I actually want to move forward with this.
I liked how she not only told you, gave you a crash course about like what IT audit was, or like if you're interested in governance. I like that she also presented you with roles that you could hop into after the course. And then she also talked about providing interview support. So as part of the course, we have interview calls. So and it's even though it was an online course, we met like 2 3 times a week, because we had our Friday check-in calls where she goes through the material for the week, and then everybody asks questions regardless of where they are. So you had like a hodgepodge of students that had were in the program before, people that are currently in the program, and then depending on where you are in your program, the next cohort might be joining as well. So it was really interesting because at those calls, she goes through the let's say it's week one, for example, she goes through week
Yeah.
one material, and then she opens the floor. And it was very interesting because you're not only getting questions from week one, you're seeing other seniors that are still in the program, because if you do the program, even though it's 8 weeks, she gives you 6 months of access, from the
Wow.
end of the course. So you have your
Wow.
8 weeks course period. And I think that was very great, because that's why we were able to overlap. And it's very interesting because you see people that are a little bit ahead of you, and they're asking questions about chapter 5, and you get inspired for that, right? But going back to that challenge, I think she provides the roadmap, and she tells you of the
Mhm.
bat, it's not going to be easy, you're going to have to put in the work, but I'm here to give you all at least the fundamental groundwork. She lays the foundation for you. And if you
Yeah.
do that, and for me, that is what you need, especially if you're trying to transition and doing it in a time frame of like, okay, I'm taking this course and then I'm going to start looking for jobs. Having a interview prep program as part of that boot camp is very important, right? Because you need to be able to
Yeah.
know how to interview. It helps you learn the material more. And we also took part in the interviews of those that had interviews that you prep for.
Wow.
So there was also that aspect of that. So it's like a
Oh, that's so
case.
cool.
Right. So if someone was ready for an interview, we had like, and Baba Lola was our interview coach, and also like, our questions and answer and resume. So not only do they help you, like give you feedback on the resume, if you do have an interview lined up, they will put you on the block, or you put yourself on the block. And as a whole class, you'll be asked questions, basically a mock interview.
Wow.
The most terrifying thing when I was thinking about it. But it gives you courage because you got to know the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I said, you do the work, but if you do all of these, your chances of success increases
Yeah.
exponentially because you have that support. And I think that was what I was looking for. And so that was what sold the
Yeah.
course for me. I knew I was going to get the weekly check-ins. I knew I was going to get mock interviews if I want, as much as I want. And I knew I was going to get help or feedback from resume, because transferable skills, and because you're moving from a different career, and most of the things you're bringing in is transferable skills, apart
Mhm.
from the foundation. And so because of that, having someone that's able to tell you, okay, this is how your skills transfer, this is how, with your experience, and everything, that's very helpful, because those are the three things you need to succeed. You need to know, you need to know the material, or you need to know your stuff.
Mhm.
You need to have a very good resume that catches the eye of the company you're interviewing for, and you need to give a
Mhm.
stellar interview. And those are things
Yeah.
that are offered in the class. And then we also have like a community page, and people ask questions. She always had questions of the week, so it was really good. So that was what sold it for me for the boot camp. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is, and I liked her passion for teaching, because some people are gifted with it, and she's gifted with it. I can tell, because she breaks things down to the minimum, and she teaches you what you actually need to know. And this is speaking from retrospect now.
That's so important. I hope y'all caught that last bar that she just said. That last statement. She said that you actually learn what you need to know. Because I mean, how often? I mean, y'all let me know how many of us went to school or learned something or did some program, and then when we actually got in the market, all that stuff we learned was completely irrelevant. You know, I know like one easy example people use a lot is all the math stuff we had to learn in school, where they,
Calculus.
you know, all the random stuff we had to learn that is not applicable to the world unless you're gonna go on to be a mathematician or do something in math.
Right,
It's like
right.
outside of that, it's like why did we have to learn all that stuff in high school of all places? And so anyway, likewise, y'all know I say this all the time. That's one of the reasons why I personally don't encourage people to go to college to get in the tech industry. College education is wonderful.
Mm,
College, I'm not going down college, but if you're going to talk about going to college to get into tech, it doesn't make sense because you're talking about a difference of 4 years versus 8 weeks that Dr. Beanie did. She did an 8 week program, self-paced, versus going for 4 years. And then, and then also, the price of college, university, also the information is often outdated in college because the time that it takes a professor to update the curriculum to match the current market is almost impossible. One of the cool things about the founder and the instructor of the program that Dr. Beanie here did, the founder still works in the tech industry to this day, y'all. So this isn't like the founder started a boot camp because she was looking for a way just to kind of escape whatever. It's like, no, she started it because she was helping so many people for free that eventually was like, okay, let me build this out, turn it into a proper business, get some team members, get some resources to really fully help people. So that's one of the things that I love about the program that you did, Dr. Beanie, and about your instructor. It's just the way the program even started. It wasn't birthed out of someone just wanting to start a side hustle or when someone wanting to start a business. It
right.
was birthed out of already serving people, already helping people, already producing results, and then realizing, okay, I could help more people if I actually get money from this, and then I'm able to provide more resources to help people on a greater level. That's what I really love about the program that you did. And so yeah, that statement was funny when you said like, okay, well, now in the hindsight, because you're actually working in the industry now, you're like, yo, I'm actually doing what I was taught in your IT career, which is really phenomenal. So if you can explain, I know you talked about this a little bit earlier. If you
Yeah.
can explain and just kind of use elementary terms that people, because it's people here that are in chat that they don't even know like cybersecurity in their minds. They're thinking all type of stuff. So you can explain to people in the chat what your day to day looks like. As a one, what your day to day looks like, but two, someone asked this in the chat earlier. How are you already a senior level and you've only been officially working in the industry for 3 months?
Okay. I will start. I think it's easier to go backwards. So I'll answer the senior level first, and then I'll answer my day to day. So this is the power of network and internship. So since I have a high degree and I was still in my fellowship when I was doing the class, I realized that for me, from a scientific point of view, I needed more training or that hands-on experience because I'm used to being in the lab where I'm doing stuff. I do stuff with my whole body. I learn with my whole body, guys. I don't know if there are other people out there, but just doing the boot camp and like reading it and stuff is not, we do have a very vigorous program because she does have like a whole project and stuff. But I felt like, okay, this is still class setting. I want to see it in real life. And so I did have the unique opportunity, as I said. And this is where I want to say for people that are thinking of pivoting their careers and have and are in big institutions that have multiple departments, see if there's an IT audit department and see if you can do an internship because that's exactly what I did, and it's easier as an internal person because you're already in that institution system, right? So I leveraged that because they didn't need to rehire me. I'm not external. They didn't need to think about like securities and stuff. I was a fellow already. I was a postdoc, right? I only needed to have my principal investigator, which is equivalent to a boss, give a go ahead. And, I was able to tell her that I need protected time. This was part of our career development, right? Since we're considered trainees with air quotes. And so with that, once that was settled on the, book side and, authorization side, I did that internship, and the internship became the job basically. And it was crazy because in my mind, I joined that the internal audit department just to gain that experience. And it was a wonderful experience because I was thrown in, and I leveraged myself as because I also took another a class for project management, because I told you I was thinking about project management, and I was going to do
Mhm.
project management, either science or tech at this point. But that IT audit, I just loved it. The class just clicked. And I think inside of me, I've always wanted to be a techie, but I was too scared because in college you had all this like nerds and like very computer science people, and I felt I couldn't code, and stuff like that. So I was always like, okay, so I was a closet techie, you know what I mean? And it was my gateway. I just found a gateway to do it. And so and I also did the work, because I was
Mhm.
in the class finishing the course, and it took me a little bit longer. As I said, we got up to 6 months after the course finished, so I didn't finish the whole program in that 8 weeks. I spread it out even more because I had the opportunities to start the internship earlier. But let me tell you what was happening. I was learning and I was going to the books, and the thing was translating. I won't lie to you. All the work papers were translating, everything was translating. We started out with logical security, which was one of the ones that she panel beated in the class as
Yeah.
example, like testing password controls, change management, authentication, and looking at security, network security, access control, segregation of duty roles. These are things that were just like popping out in this internship. I was like, oh my god, so this is actually like translating, you know.
Yeah.
It made it more fun, but it also, I think, the passion that I showed, and showing that I was serious. And then once I got the certificate, I was like, I didn't, even if I didn't end up getting hired there, but that experience was good because then I had
Wow.
experience of saying, okay, not only did I do the class, but I had this internship, because I knew for a fact going into an interview, they would be like, why? You have a
Mhm.
PhD. Why? So, and I needed to figure out how to say the why. And I needed to show that I knew and I was determined for this. And that's what that experience was for me, was to further solidify the work. Because as a PhD, they'll be like, yeah, she knows books. She got a PhD. Of course, she will know the information, but can she translate it to act? Can she apply it? You know?
Yes.
So
That's so
that's,
important.
yes, is that application, right?
Yeah.
And for me, as I said, I learned with my whole body. So doing it, in a safe environment was really
Yeah.
important. And then, we clicked and everything. And I was finishing up my fourth year. This actually, technically, I should have been finishing up my fourth year of fellowship, the postdoc fellowship, May 31st. But then in March, you know, actually in February, 3 weeks February, because I had to give a 2 weeks notice. So February, somewhere mid February, because I had been telling him about my dreams that I'm gonna start applying for jobs and everything. This is my mentor now, that is, and he was just like, okay, okay, and we talked about timelines and everything. And he was like, okay, okay. And then I got a call one Sunday afternoon in February. And he was, because, oh, this is, I didn't think about this then, but I told him that I had my resume and I'm working on it slowly and everything. And he was like, okay, well, let me see that resume once you're done with it. That final resume. I did show him like the certificate that I had finished the class. I also showed him my project
Yeah.
certificate. And I took, look, I sold myself. I was like, look, you can get me right now, for even less. You know what I mean? But I have a project management certificate that I showed you that I finished, and here's the boot camp that showed that I did the fundamental audit boot,
Yeah.
and everything. But I was like, you can get me now before I'm gone. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
all right, let's keep
Mhm.
going, and everything. But then I got that call, and he was like, things have changed, and we've decided that we want to hire you, the position, because he did talk about that there was positions, but it was being discussed in management, and he didn't know
Mhm.
everything. But it just happened. He was like, can you give me your resume by Monday? This was on Sunday. First of all, I was freaking out because he's never called me on a Sunday, you know. And so I was like, what's going on? He's like, no, is he okay? Because he texted, he called, I missed his call, and then he's like, can you talk? I was like, yeah, sure, what's going on? I thought it had to do with one of the audits that we were doing as part of he was like, oh no, things are changing, and your role just opened up, and we want you. I already told them that I want you for this position, and so they've given the go ahead. So that resume, I wanted to let you know now later than tomorrow, because everything is going to go down tomorrow. But get your resume done and send it to me as quick as you can. I was like, okay, okay, okay. He's like, yeah, don't freak out and everything. But he was like, yeah, but I just wanted to let you know. I was like, wow, thanks for being transparent. As the man said, Monday, I got a call, and he was like, it's official. They've released the position. HR will get in contact with you. You sent me the resume. It looks well. I've already translated it. They'll send it. You will get a call from HR in 24 hours. Once it goes live, it has to post for 24 hours. You're an internal hire and everything, and it has to be up for a week, but we already want you. I was like, damn.
Yes. Come on. Come on.
This started on Sunday. By when on Tuesday morning, I got the call from HR. Yes, this is yes. Yeah, the thing is live. Just put your resume. And as soon as I put everything in the system, by Wednesday they had my offer letter and everything. And we're like,
Wow.
yeah, so that was just it. And I think that's the power of being internal, networking, and using your resources around you, and because it's not easy to get an internship right now, but if you're able to get one and you're able to use the leverage where you are, it's very important in that situation. And that's how it worked out from that was the magic. And I really thank God for it, because it was a miracle. And to tell you this, I was so scared about this because I didn't tell my family that I was doing this job transition till I got the job. And they're like, what? We didn't know you were in tech.
Oh my
Because I wanted
goodness.
it to work before, you break the news, because you're like, so you put us all through this whole this PhD and everything, and now you're leaving. I have Nigerian parents.
Uh, yeah. Oh my goodness. So you know what? Now that I think about it, when you have a Nigerian parents, because I know that Nigerian parents don't play that when it comes to education and when it comes to what career you have. So, so were your parents aware of the value of a cybersecurity career, or were they like, "What are you doing, leaving? What are you doing, like going from like the doctor field to cybersecurity?" Or were they aware and they were like, "Okay, that's still a good transition."
Just so confused because everything my siblings are so confused. My mom, who is very elderly, she's 88. God bless her. I think she just chuckles and says, "You know what? I just have her adventurous and just like go attitude," because it just took her 4 years to understand what I was doing as a biologist, as a PhD, not a medical doctor. Because when you think doctor, you think MD. It took me that
Mhm.
long to like tell her what I'm doing as a researcher, and now she's like, what? You're doing what again? But my siblings were like, why? You're doing well, you're doing research. But at the end of the day, I was like, sometimes, for me, I just loved learning. And I think I went
Mhm.
to the highest level of learning I could in that topic. And that was fine for me. And
Mhm.
also, you need to learn how to change. And for me, project management, and it's okay, because I am using my degree now indirectly, because in my current role, while I'm a senior IT auditor, I still contribute and advise on research audit, because I didn't even realize there was a field of research audit until I got to that internal department. And one of the other leaders in the department, she keeps saying, "Are you sure you don't want to do research audit?"
Yeah.
Like, I'll sit here in tech. I'll sit here.
Wow.
It was like, just let us know. But it's fun, because now it's very I have leverage, because I can still advise on the technology securities, but I can also advise on the research securities, because all the grants and everything, they have their own technological securities that they need to comply with in order to meet the requirements. If they have DoD grants, for example, Department of Defense grants, or if you're doing research that has to do. So, that compliance is everywhere. And the best thing that made me realize that I did the right thing, was that my grad school advisor slash mentor, she told me that she was proud of me, because I found a way to leverage my science and merge it with technology, in the sense that I have the
Mm.
most stable job, and not a lot of job that stable. Because she was like, you know what, you will always need auditors. And if you, as once you get into audit, you can diversify. And then Pedro even told me I can do cybersecurity later, in terms of like, defense, in terms of like, what do you call those? What do you call them? The code and the hackers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just the gateway. And you can go sideways, you can go up and down, you can, and that's the beauty, I think, about being in cybersecurity, and being
Yeah.
in the space that I am right now, because you never run out. If you're tired of audit, you can do governance, risk and compliance, GRC. If you're tired of that, then you can get your red hat, blue hat, and you can start hacking people, be a pen tester. So you can go, I you know what I
Yes.
and at the same time, you're always growing. And because it's a
Yeah.
critical field, as we're getting more and more technological, technologically merged, you will
Yeah.
always need cybersecurity.
Yeah,
Cybersecurity.
I mean, crypto, of course, is growing right now. It's becoming very popular around the world, and that
Yeah.
just creates a lot of cyber risk, a lot of cyber risk, and
Yes.
so that obviously we all know the word or the phrase that's been running everything for the last 2.5, 3 years now is AI.
Yeah.
AI
Oh,
presents a
AI.
lot of cybersecurity risk, a lot of cybersecurity risk because of AI. Robotics, a lot of cybersecurity risks. The
Yeah.
the robo taxis on the road with Waymo and
Oh yeah.
Tesla and the robo taxis. Those are technology on wheels that can get hacked. So that's a cybersecurity risk. Neuralink, the new technology that's actually merging with the medical field, where they're having technology that's helping paraplegic people. That you need cybersecurity professionals. Like the list goes on and
One
on and
and
on.
yes, yes. And
Yeah.
you always have auditors, because you always need to provide assurance, both internal or external, to make sure that policies are being followed. There's governance, and people's data is safe, there's security. That's the whole point. You're protecting information that has to be protected, being encrypted. I didn't even realize, I did research, and I didn't realize that some of our grants, you needed to have that some of our data that we're receiving from collaborators were encrypted. I didn't even realize that. I know we had to do the cybersecurity training and stuff, but it just gave a whole new level to my science. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Sorry,
That's incredible. No, I love it. Y'all can see her passion, how excited she is. Y'all can definitely see her passion with working in cybersecurity. It's a beautiful thing to see. Super beautiful. Yeah, so look, y'all, we're about to transition to y'all's questions. So
Yeah.
make sure if you haven't posted your question yet, make sure that you start posting your questions because we are about to transition over to you all's questions. Just a quick snapshot for those of you that ended up tuning in a little bit late, so those y'all completely understand. The title is literally, y'all see on the title, it says from doctor to cybersecurity in 3 months. She technically is still a doctor because once you're a doctor, you're always a doctor. It's like a Marine. I'm a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. She is still a doctor. But in terms of job, in terms of career, she did transition over to the cybersecurity industry. She did a program called Your IT Career is the program that she did. I've interviewed other alumni as well that did that program and that got in the tech industry, but got in the cybersecurity space pretty fast. And so a lot of people say it's impossible to get in cybersecurity within just a few months. I've interviewed several people now that have proven that that's not true. As long as you have a really good program that's giving you relevant information, they're giving you resources, and of course, you put that work in as well, because you got to put that work in. The work must be done. You put that work in, you can definitely have a success story similar to Dr. Beanie's and others that I've interviewed. So again, for those of y'all that are on YouTube and Instagram, if you want to do they have a free 2-day workshop. It's the same workshop that she actually did before she finally decided to move forward. They're having another free workshop coming up in just a few days, limited access. Make sure y'all register for that. If you're on YouTube and Instagram, all you need to do is comment security. Just comment the word security, and then you'll get the link. Will go to you. On YouTube, just look in the chat. You'll see the link pop up there. On Instagram, a DM will go out to you after you comment the word security. On LinkedIn, those of y'all that are on LinkedIn, all you have to do, look at the description below me, and you'll see the link that's there to be able to register for the 2-day free workshop, y'all. Take advantage of this, y'all. For those of y'all need to transform your life, take advantage of this opportunity, especially y'all hearing it here from her and hearing her story and experience. And so, y'all, look, we are about to go ahead and transition over to the questions. I'm going to go ahead and tap in with some that were already pre-submitted. So someone on Instagram is actually pretty funny. Someone said, fastest way to get into tech, your boy is broke. That's actually funny. It's funny. It's not funny because being broke ain't funny. But yeah, it's not funny. What Nicki Minaj say, broke people should never laugh. But anyway, but nevertheless, fastest way to get into the tech industry. I would say I'll give my 2 cents on this. Dr. Beanie, I'll allow you to speak on as well. I would say the fastest way to get into the tech industry, first and foremost, finding out what exactly you want to do. We're talking about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is top. It might be number one. It's definitely top 3 industries in tech. Because again, the tech industry is big. So cybersecurity is definitely one of the top 3 sub industries in the tech industry. It might be number 1, depending on who you ask. People argue it's number 1. Cybersecurity is definitely top 3. It's one of the top industries in tech that aren't going. I'm not going to say it's not going to be replaced by AI, but it's going to last the longest. It's going to last the longest, and if anything, AI is actually making cybersecurity a bigger demand. It's in greater demand because of AI. Because y'all know AI poses a lot of risks, a lot of threats, a lot of possible security issues. So you need cybersecurity professionals. You need those even IT auditors to make sure checks and balances are in place. So I would say choose a great career, cybersecurity being one. After you choose that, find the path you want to go. You definitely want to do a boot camp because you don't want to go to college. Nobody here wants to spend 4 years. In 4 years, the industry is going to be completely different. The industry is going to be different in a year from now. So do not go to college to get in tech. So I would say find what you want to do. Choose a quality boot camp. If it's cybersecurity, obviously do Your IT Academy, the same program she did. Your IT Career, the same program that Dr. Beanie did. Choose a quality program. From there, you put the work in. You have to put the work in. You follow the instructions from the instructor, the resources that they give you, and that includes things that are going to help you be able to transition into the industry. So that's the fastest way that I would say. Dr. Beanie, what would you add or take away from that?
I think you said it best, and just from my experience, I leveraged what I liked, from my current job. So just do a self reflection, and be like, okay, so this is what I do. What do I like doing? As I said, my mindset was project management because that was what I loved in the lab. And that was my easy translatable skills, that I wanted to leverage, and so with that, I realized that, hint, hint, there are IT project managers. And so that was the goal. However, then I did the audit class, and as I said, I had the brain for audit, but I didn't see myself in it until someone had like expressed this, and I took that. So, do a self-reflection of yourself. That's what I'll add, and then go for it. For me, I also did what you call informational interviews, right? So I saw these people as I took Page's boot camp, or like the challenge. I was gonna sign up for the class. I googled and I did LinkedIn searches, like what are IT auditors and stuff like that. I'm a researcher by default, so we research the crap out of everything. We research everything. So I
Yeah.
did a lot of research, and then I started looking for those jobs titles and stuff like that. And she also does a good job of telling you as you go through the class, especially as you hit the different parts of the audits, because there's external audits, internal audits. She kind of tells you, like, these are some of the job titles you need to look for. And so I started looking at people's LinkedIn file and profiles that had these job titles. I was like, okay, what are the skills? Because you need to know your skills gap, and how that boot camp is going to help you, learn that skill gap, and then you apply yourself and you take the chance, which is what I did. You take the plunge, and it is a true leap of faith. So I wouldn't say that you won't get it in 2 weeks, but at least give yourself like 6 months, to like do your
That's
due
good.
diligence. Give yourself due diligence, and the half of the battle is that mindset, and have been able to envision yourself, because I already saw a end, or a role for me, you know just attending the challenge, and I was like, okay, this is it. And that's for me. I was able to see the vision, the straight career, and how I can pivot, and the flexibility, and it helps you through the classes and understanding the material. So yeah. Oh,
I
and I
love it.
forgot
I love it.
I forgot to say what my day today is. So I do a lot of meetings because this is active audit season. The physical year, we're doing the audit. The audit year, or the physical year. There are 2 years we have to align with as auditors. You have the regular normal year, and you have like the physical year of the institution. And our institution is August to August the following, or September following year. So I'm currently doing a lot of meetings. I'm doing logical security controls, um, and what do you call it, audits at the moment. As I said, we have a healthcare component, so we're doing some epic edit audits at the moment for some of our post epic implementation, looking at security, segregation of duties, and just tying up, so I give part of the audit is assurance, part of it is advisory, because we're internal audit, which is a little bit different as for external audit. So that's another thing that you can, you know play around with and see what you want to do, if you want to be an external auditor and internal auditor as well as an IT auditor, you know. And right, so because I want to make sure that I state this, I had no IT background. I
Wow.
had this dream of being in IT, but it was a dream until it became a reality. And so I used what I had, which was project management, and the knack for wanting to have things be compliance, to be in compliance basically. And I use those are the skills that help me actualize this, and of course networking, which is very important. I also joined the ISACA chapter here in Atlanta, and I've been networking to learn more about security, and stuff like that. So
I
networking is
love it.
there.
You're
So
you're still learning in your
oh
space.
yeah, I think I'm a
Got
perpetual
to.
learner.
Incredible, incredible. Look, let's go ahead and get into some of these other questions.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. Okay, okay. So I'm seeing a lot of questions specifically on Instagram. A lot of people are asking about me dropping the AI trading bot. I should have said this earlier. So for those of y'all that have been seeing it, I've been so this week I've been posting about the hundreds to thousands of dollars a day I've been making. Today I made $1,100 and some change. Passively, AI made the money for me. For those of y'all that are interested, that'll be a separate day, a separate conversation. All y'all need to do, if you're on Instagram and YouTube, just comment the phrase. What is the phrase you need to comment? I'm trying to remember what the phrase you're supposed to comment. Comment the phrase. What is the phrase? I think the phrase is, oh yeah, a passive AI. Comment the phrase passive AI, and you have to you'll register for the wait list. There's a wait list right now. The reason I know a lot of y'all are asking me for access, it's limited access where they are like gradually making it available to different groups of people and segments. So if you want to if you want to be on the wait list to get access, comment passive AI, and you should receive a DM. We're about to see it in a second. Hopefully, it pops up in the chat. We're gonna see if it's working or not because I see a couple people commented passive AI. If that doesn't work, then try AI passive. Try the opposite. Try AI passive. If that doesn't, if that passive AI doesn't work. So anyway, or just DM me in the future. I'll give y'all access to the wait list. But again, you got to make sure you get tapped in because once the wait list is filled, that's gonna be that for at least probably another month or so. So again, if y'all aren't getting the link, if it isn't sending over, that means it's something I did wrong. So just message me later on. Anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and continue to get into it. So let's go ahead and look at some of the questions that y'all submitted earlier that are here in the chat. Damer Day, no, not passive A dot I, just and not A dot I passive, just passive AI, the letters. You don't have to put the dots there. Whatever those terms are called. Anyway, let's get to some of the other questions y'all pre-submitted. So let's see. So she answered the question of how she became a senior auditor so quickly, or did you? So yeah, how exactly did you become a senior so quickly?
So
Because
I
you
that was the role they applied for me because I told you while I was doing the internship, I think my passion for this came through. And I think because the senior you need like 3 years or 2 years. So they counted the fact that I had a PhD. So he counted my
mm,
as a PhD holder as some years, and then he counted my internship because, and he not only counted it because on official paper that my advisor signed. Now she's gonna know. My start date for that internship was in May of 2024. However, I reached out to him in January and I had kept in touch with him the whole time, and I started attending some of the meetings. I was like, look, I can even attend meetings so everything gets clarified. So he counted my, like, the moment I started attending meetings with him, in February, when I was in the class proper, as part of years of experience for the internship. So that was what leveraged me. And when your boss wants you, they will move heaven and earth. And
yeah,
I had two leaders. Basically, the director of the research audits was one of the other person that I networked with to find out about her role and everything. And then my direct boss, who is the director of IT audit. Both of them, I had two champions that were leveraging for me at the for me to get the role. And I think that's why I'm saying, and I asked, and she kept saying it. She was like, the humility, you had a PhD, but the humility that you came and asked for a internship and just to learn about what I do as an IT auditor, and the fact that you looked me up on LinkedIn and you already had questions for me to answer, she was like, that inspired her, because she was like, she never thought that was, that could happen. And that's why I
yeah,
said, So take that chance. It's a leap of faith, and a lot of people are willing to at least give you an informational interview about what they do and the job titles. If they do have the time, they will do that because it's our human nature to give that advice, which is free. And then I took the leap of faith to ask, hey, can I be a look? This seems like a great opportunity. Do you guys want an intern for free? I did my internship for free because I couldn't get it paid, but I was willing to do that, and I
Yeah,
showed
I love that.
enthusiasm throughout that process. I worked really hard during the internship, because we had an external collaborator, and I was basically the liaison. I stood there as the project manager to help manage the project, which also highlighted my project management skill too, you know. And so that's why, because I had the project management certification, and I also I told him that I want to get my PMP and my CSER certification, which they said they will pay for. I was like, you got me.
Oh my goodness,
Providing the
amazing.
services, and I was telling them, I was talking, I had that relationship with the mentor, and it was a mentorship that now became, he's now a boss slash mentor, and there are two of them, and I still go to their offices and everything. So yeah, so that's how I landed a senior position. And it was created too because it was supposed to be like a manager, but we're like, to be a manager, you need a CISA. You don't have that, but we're willing to have you get that when you're ready. And for now, you can be a senior. And that was, yeah. So that's how I got it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness,
It's amazing. I know.
amazing.
I
Oh
get
my goodness. Look,
sometimes when I talk about it because it's still pretty fresh. I'm just
that's
it's
so
May.
beautiful.
All of this happened in February, March, and March 3rd was my
I love it.
so
It's so fresh. I love it.
yeah,
Y'all can see her beaming with excitement. Oh my goodness. So
yeah.
y'all, so we're gonna get to a few more questions, y'all, and then we are gonna wrap up. So next question that I see. So I'm Chase says I'm finally able to catch a live show. Happy you're able to make it, Chase. Happy you're able to make it, bro. All right, so I believe this is Kahindi. As a beginner without IT background, what certification is okay to get? I'll give a short answer and I'll allow Dr. Beanie, if she wants to expound, she can. Do not go out getting certifications thinking that's going to get you a job in tech. A certification by itself, like you have to think about it. If if it's easy for you to get something, that means it's easy for thousands and hundreds of thousands of other people to do it too. So then now what makes you unique to the market if you did something that everybody else can do? So do not certifications specifically for cybersecurity. Certifications are valuable. Certain certifications are valuable, but it's not a waste of time, but you are slowing down your time horizon from when you can get into the industry by just doing a certification. Because the certification, I know people, I've had people come up to me at events, at tech events, and they're like, oh, hey, Cyrus, I'm trying to get in the industry. And they'll tell me all the certifications they have, and they can't even get an interview. So no one's impressed that you have certifications. And I'm not trying to shade you or be rude, but I'm just saying it straight up. It's better to do a quality program that program tells you what certifications and what things you need to get. So that way you're getting true, accurate, current direction. And then also you're getting more than just information for certifications, but you are getting certain forms of practical application as well. To where and you're getting help when it comes to interviews, all the things that Dr. Beanie says she got through the program that she did. So definitely don't just run after certification. So that's my answer, my thoughts. Dr. Beanie, what would you say, I guess, for this person or if someone came up to you saying, hey, I want to get in cybersecurity. I'm thinking about what are some certifications I should get?
I don't have any certifications in cybersecurity right now. And I think I want to adore it because you just said it all. But Peju told us that, she wants us to be in the field, you know, And the certifications are good, as you said, but actually, at the end of the day, it's your experience, that experience, which can
Yes.
translate very well in the interview. Because if they start asking you, about like logical security, for example, password reset, how do you do this? If you have it and you've done it, the way you talk about it in an interview, it shows. It knows that you know, because at the end of the day, as Pedro says, they will teach you. Because in terms of like audit, which is what I know is IT audit, there are multiple tools to help out with audit, including Excel. Like Excel is like the go-to, but you have like audit board, you have different things, and each company will teach you their audit cycle, their audit phase, their audit program, how they do their audit, what the steps are, the templates, and everything. But you still need to know from an auditor point of view, as an auditor, what am I looking for? What controls am I supposed to be testing based on the scope of this audit, right? What are all the
Yeah.
things I need to get through? You have your information part, you have like the planning phase, the work, the actual field work, and the actual like writing and everything, your work papers, how to do that, which is what that boot camp teaches you. So I think more than the certification is getting your foundations first. And trust me, I'm waiting on getting my CISA certification now to the end of the year, because I'm learning a lot of things now that I know when I go sit for that CISA, I will be much more equipped just because of the experience. Because the CISA, for example, you need to have been working for like 3 years, in order to finally get it after you take the class, because it's a two-step process, you know, for that. Now, if you're trying to do like more technical, then maybe you might need after your boot camp to get a certification. But if you're trying to do like project management IT, or you're trying to do like IT audits, which is what I know and I can attest for, you don't need a certification. What you need is a good boot camp, an
Mhm.
internship if you need more experience, and a job. And then these jobs pay for certifications. So
Yes, y'all.
money, because they're expensive if you don't have to. If you can leverage that job to pay for it, you know, do it then. So that's
Definitely do that.
where I
Definitely
am.
do that.
My sister is gonna be paid for, so I'm excited too. That was part of the that was part of the package.
I love it. I love it. Hey, look, y'all. So I got a question. Somebody asked a question in here, and the question, I think the question got removed, and I think the person got temporarily banned
Oh
because
no.
I have automations set up in here. I'm going to remove the automations. One of my automations is that if somebody comments certain words, they automatically get banned. It kicks them out of the live. I'm gonna remove it though, because the last thing I want is people think that I'm trying to avoid certain questions or certain topics that are important. The
Right.
question was, someone asked, they said, so for I know some of y'all know about the funding that we have. I don't wanna talk too much about that right now. But for those that know, someone asked and said, how do we know that the loan program that the AI passive income is legit? So for clarity, y'all, AI passive income is different from the funding. Those are two entirely different things. But the person asked, how do we know that the loan program with the AI passive income is legit? I've seen a few people talking about it, and it seems shady, a scam. The word scam is what got this flag.
Oh,
There's a few errors on the website too. So we'll start backwards. We'll start from the last comment. There's a few errors on the website. Errors being on a website doesn't mean the service isn't legitimate. There could just be errors on the website. That's just a common thing. We're talking humans making a website. It's very possible for there to be errors on a website. So let's just kind of like address that part. The other aspect, saying um, how uh, I've seen a few people talking about it. It's shady and a scam. I promise you, you haven't seen anybody that's actually done it saying that. You're talking about people who looked at the website, thought about doing it, and didn't do it because of whatever reason. Um, we have a lot of people. I could probably share my screen and show you friends of mine that have gotten the funding, have gotten the loan. And I'm actually going to start interviewing people. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start bringing people on live that we've gotten funding. Like this week in our Discord, I don't know if anybody here in the chat is in the Discord. Literally, in our Discord, people are getting funding. Like it's to the point now, people in our Discord are signing up to be affiliates to help people get funding because they see other people in our Discord getting the funding. Yeah, so I would say that. Aside from that, how do you know what's legitimate? You don't have to sign up. I promise you. I'm not begging nobody to sign up to get funding. If you don't think if you don't want to do it, totally fine. Doesn't hurt me at all. Just trying to help people. But if y'all could wait, for those of y'all that are curious, just wait some time, whatever, and y'all will see me interviewing. You'll see me interviewing people that's saying like, "Yep, I got $150,000 in my bank account, $200,000 in my bank account because I did the funding program." Or join our Discord. Literally join our Discord. Our Discord is entirely free. You could join it and literally ask in the Discord, say, "Hey, has Cyrus and his team been getting people over $100,000 in funding?" You'll see people in the Discord saying, "Yep, I got someone today." I could probably do this. I'll do this real quick. I can't do that because it has the person's name on it. I can't do that. Anyway, someone today got $40,000. But I'll share some screenshots. This is what I'm going to do. After this stream tonight, I'm going to share screenshots of people who've gotten funded. I'm going to blank out their name, but y'all will literally see screenshots of some people who've gotten funded. But also, y'all know I've been doing this for years. I've been helping people get in tech for years. I ain't going to just randomly be like, let me start doing something weird that could like put my entire life at jeopardy with funding. Like, come on, y'all. Like, I ain't out here doing that. But y'all know. I get it. People are just curious. People are worried. It's a lot of weird stuff going on. But I promise y'all, my life is still good. My life has not gotten bad to where I've turned to a life of crime. I promise y'all. I promise y'all that. So valid question, but I saw the person got blocked, kicked out, and I was like, let me go ahead and answer this so they could probably watch it later. Yeah, so all right, y'all. So we'll get to one more question. Is this recorded? Yes, this is recorded. You can watch the replay. Not sure if she spoke about her transition from doctor to cybersecurity, but curious to know more about her transition. Yes, Ice Cream Paints. Please watch the replay because that's the whole bundle of what we talked about. So a quick snapshot. She did, in fact, go from being, again, she still is a doctor because once you're a doctor, you're a doctor. But in terms of work, she did transition from working in the doctor field to now she is in cybersecurity. She did a tech boot camp called Your IT Career. It's called I'm pointing at y'all. Your IT Career is the name of the boot camp. And literally 3 months after she had completed the program, she landed an internship at a very prestigious university. I'm not going to say it because she didn't say it, but it is a very prestigious university. One of the arguably it's probably top 2, if not number 1 most prestigious university in Georgia. It's 1 or 2, comparing it to the other one. Either way, very prestigious. And she works in cybersecurity there. She has a cybersecurity at senior level. So she did the boot camp. 3 months later, got the internship. And literally shortly after that, they hired her on full time. She has now been officially working in cybersecurity for 3 months now, still very fresh and new. She is a senior IT auditor. So they even started her off on a senior level. So she did a 2-day workshop before joining the actual boot camp. And after she did the 2, there was a free workshop that she did that inspired her to go ahead and start. They are doing that exact same workshop in a few days. So for those of y'all that are interested in the workshop, make sure that y'all, all y'all need to do on YouTube and Instagram, comment the word security, and you'll get the link to it. Again, it's a free 2-day workshop. I strongly urge y'all to check it out. It's free. Take advantage of it. See if it's a good fit for you. Her instructor, the founder of the program, is highly decorated in cybersecurity. She has been in cybersecurity for over 20 years. Not the person I'm talking to, but the instructor, the creator of the program. And currently that founder is still working in cybersecurity today. So she did not create this out of just trying to start a business for some money. She created this because she had already helped so many different people. So definitely tap in, y'all. Take advantage of those. Again, everybody just comment security. Those of y'all that are on LinkedIn, you're going to look at the description down below. What's up, Woo TV? Shouts out to Woo TV in the chat. Those of y'all that are on LinkedIn, just look at the description below. and you'll see the link down there. Make sure y'all go ahead and tap in. What? That's dang, my bad, Woo. YouTube sent you a warning, and I know you ain't do nothing crazy. I'm gonna remove this bot. This bot is doing too much. It's about to start blocking people that ain't even saying nothing crazy. What's funny, I added it just because I was like, ooh, yeah, let me, if somebody say something crazy, now I'm like, all right, it ain't that serious. Let me go ahead and remove this bot. Uh, uh, Joe, Jose Rivera, I think is the person that dropped that question earlier about the funding. Yeah, it is. Jose Rivera says, thanks, Cyrus. Appreciate you answering. I trust you, man. Thanks again, brother. Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you for the question. It's a very valid question. So for clarity, let me say this real quick, y'all. It is not my funding business. It is a collaboration with a funding company. Tech is New Black does not all of a sudden become a funding business. The funding company is a 10-year-old funding company. They have gotten probably thousands of people funding at this point. In the past 2 weeks since we've collaborated, we have gotten about 20 people in our Discord funding, including close friends of mine. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, I spoke to my godfather today. He's about to do the funding. I'm gonna be super real with y'all. I literally am gonna hit up all of my family members next week and have all of them do the funding. Because I'm like, yo, y'all should all do the funding, and I'm gonna tell them how to handle the money, what to invest, break their money up, what to invest it into, so that way they could just have money and stuff like that. So y'all gonna see. I'm gonna interview my friends, my family members. I've never interviewed my family members before, but y'all gonna see. But again, obviously the funding, you have to put certain things in there, like your social security number, because it's funding from banks. Like, so that's the thing that I think is making some people be like, whoa, and I get it. Trust me, we're not keeping your social security information. It literally goes over to the funding company. It's just we have our own page for it, so they know you came from us because they prioritize people that we send. But again, y'all know I'm not on the funny stuff, but your questions are still valid. Completely understand y'all's questions and the validity of them. So look, y'all, great conversation. Again, y'all, comment or go to the link in the description for your IT career, which is the boot camp that Dr. Beanie here, let me point the right direction. Dr. Beanie here did. You on screen, you like, which way do I point? That Dr. Beanie here did. She went from working as a doctor. Title-wise, you never lose the title of a doctor. She is a doctor who has transitioned over into the cybersecurity space and is now a senior IT auditor, only been working full-time, career-wise in cybersecurity for 3 months now, y'all. So major blessing, amazing testimony, one for the books. Make sure y'all watch the replay so y'all can hear her story, get some insights, some nuggets, some gems. And also, she said this earlier, she still does not have any certification. She eventually is going to have some. But again, to highlight, you don't need to get certifications to get certain jobs in cybersecurity like what she got. So don't waste y'all's time getting a heap of certifications that don't mean nothing.
Networking is very important.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
And it took me the whole journey was a year because I did that internship for a year. So I know people are like, looking at the timeline. As I said, it is a commitment. And while I finished the class, for me, while I was still in the class, I started seeking out internship. And I was lucky enough to get an internship in the same institution where I was a postdoc at. So I will be what is considered an internal hire into that senior audit position, which is, so that's what I'm saying. If you're able to leverage your current company, once you've done the boot camp and you want to do this, see if your company has an audit department. That would be your best place to start. Internal audits, and then you can transition to external audits and stuff like that. Because there are external, or look at the ISACA chapters around your area, because they also have volunteering to help you get hours of to get you into the work and learning and better networking and understanding the community. So yeah. So
good stuff. Love it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Beanie, for coming on. Truly appreciate you. Again, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Shouts out to everybody who's here. Again, Shouts out to y'all for y'all investing your evening, your time, your greatest resource, your greatest, most valuable asset, which is your time, into yourself. For y'all being on here, tuning in, getting this information. I love y'all. Many, many blessings to everybody who's here. And I pray y'all have a beautiful evening. All right, y'all. God bless.
God bless.